Good morning, everybody. So I'm going to be doing part two of the reading challenge. So today's challenge is to read Genesis 17 through 28. So Genesis 17 to Genesis 28 and verse 19. So it might be the whole chapter 28. I haven't looked at it yet. So I'm kind of late. I'm going to go ahead and pray in, make myself some tea, and let's go. Father, we thank you today. We thank you for waking us up, getting us started on our day, giving us peace, knowledge, understanding. We thank you for your grace, your mercy, your loving kindness. Whoever is sick, that they be healed, Father. Whether it's of the mind, whether it's of the body, we know that you have given us power and a sound mind. And we thank you for it today and every day. In Yahushua's name we pray. Amen. Okay, so we're going to. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, Yahuwah appeared to Avram and said unto him, I am El Shaddai, walk before me and be perfect, and I will make my covenant between me and you, and will make my covenant, and will make my covenant between me and you, and will multiply you exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with you, and you shall be a father of many nations. Neither shall your name any more be called Abram, but your name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made you, and I will make you exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations for you, and kings shall come out of you. And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your seed after you in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be Elohim unto you and to your seed after you. And I will give unto you and to your seed after you the land wherein you are a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their Elohim. And Elohim said unto Abraham, Ye shall guard my covenant, therefore, you and your seed after you, in their generations. This is my covenant, ye shall guard it, between me and you and your seed after you. Every male child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a sign of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every male child in your generations, he that is born in the house or brought with money of any stranger, which is not of your seed. He that is born in your house, and he that is brought with your money must be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised male child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. And Elohim said unto Abraham, As for Sarai, your woman, you shall not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. And I will bless her, and give you a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear? And Abraham said unto Elohim, Oh, that Ishmael might live before you. And Elohim said, Sarah, your woman, will bear you a son indeed, and you shall call his name Yishak. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Yishak, which Sarah shall bear unto you at the set time in the next year. And he left all talking from him, and Elohim went up from Abraham. Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin, in the selfsame day, as Elohim had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son. And all the men of his house born in the house, and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him. And Yahuwah appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre. And he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet him from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, My Yahuwah, if now I have found favor in your sight, pass not away, I pray you, from your servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts, that ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as you have said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto El-Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf, tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hastened to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah, your woman? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto you according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah, your woman, shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of woman. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Adonai, being old also? And Yahuwah said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old? Is anything too hard for Yahuwah? At the time appointed I will return unto you according to the time of life, and Sarah will have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but you did laugh. And the men rose up from thence, and looked towards Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. So these men looked towards Sodom. These are the men who went to Lot. And is there anything too hard for Yahuwah? I like that. 18 and 14 in Genesis. Okay, and this is verse 18 and 16 of Genesis. Okay. And Yahuwah said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? For I know him, and that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall guard the way of Yahuwah to do justice and judgment, that Yahuwah may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. And Yahuwah said, Because the cry of Sodom and Amorah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now, and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. And the men turned their face from thence, and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before Yahuwah. And Abraham drew near, and said, Will you also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Perchance there be 50 righteous within the city. Will you also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 therein, 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from you to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, to be far from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And Yahuwah said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, and I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto Yahuwah, which am but dust and ashes. Perchance there shall lack five of the 50 righteous. Will you destroy all the city for the lack of five? And he said, If I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spoke unto him yet again and said, Perchance there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said unto him, Oh, let not Yahuwah be angry, and I will speak. Perchance there shall be 50 found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 50 there. And he said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to I've taken upon me to speak unto Yahuwah. Perchance there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, Oh, let not Yahuwah be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Perchance 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And Yahuwah went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham. And Abraham returned unto his place. And there came 2 angels to Sedom at even, and Lot in the gate of Sedom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, Behold now, my Adonai, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and you shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly. And they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake matzah, unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came in to you this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out to the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will need to be a judge. Now will we deal worse with you than with them? And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men brought forth their hand, and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, Have you any here besides son-in-law, and your sons and your daughters, and whatsoever you have in the city? Bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah has sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spoke unto his sons-in-laws, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, or Yahuwah will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take your women and your 2 daughters which are here, lest you be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his woman, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, Yahuwah being merciful unto him, and they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth, that he said, Escape for your life, look not behind you, neither stay in all the circle of the Yarden. Escape to the mountains, lest you be consumed. And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my Yahuwah. Behold, now your servant has found grace in your sight, and you have magnified your mercy, which you have showed unto me, and saved life. And I could not escape to the mountains, lest some evil take me, and I die. Behold, now the city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? Excuse me. And my soul shall live. And he said unto him, See, I have accepted you concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for which you have spoken. Make haste, escape thither, but I cannot do anything till you are come thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Tusor. And the sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Tusor. Then Yahuwah rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from Yahuwah out of the heavens. And he overthrew those cities, all the circle of the Jordan, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But this woman looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before Yahuwah, and he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land of the circle of the Jordan, and behold, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass when Elohim destroyed the cities of the circle of the Jordan, that Elohim remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt. And Lot went up out of Tusor, and dwelt in the mountains, and his two daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Tusor. He dwelt in a cave, he and his two daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with her father. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go in and go lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bore a son, and named his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabim unto this day. And the daughter, she also bore a son, and called his name Benanim. The same is the father of all the children of Ammon this day. So both Moses and Lot were, I'll say, defiled when drunken. Person. Not doing great on time today. And Abraham, or Abraham, journeyed from thence towards the city of Negev, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and journeyed in Gerar. And Abram and Elzerah his wife, she is my sister. And Abimelech king of Gerar sent and took Sarah. But Elohim came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, you are but a dead man, for the woman which you have taken, for she is a man's woman. But Abimelech had not come near her, for he had said, Yahuwah will you slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, She is my sister? And she even herself said, He is my brother? In the integrity of my heart and innocence of my hands have I done this. And Elohim said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that you did this in the integrity of your heart, for I also withheld you from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I you not to touch her. Now, therefore, restore the man his woman, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for you, and you shall live. And if you restore her not, know you that you shall surely die, you and all that are yours. Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning, and called all his servants, and told all these things in their ears. And the men were sore afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham, and said unto him, What have you done unto us? And what have I offended you, that you have brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? You have done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What saw you that you have done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of Elohim is not in this place, and they will slay me for my woman's sake. And yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And she became my woman. And it came to pass, when Elohim caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is your kindness which you shall show unto me at every place whither we come. Say of me, He is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and women servants and gave them unto Abraham and restored him Sarah his woman. And Abimelech said, Behold, my land is before you. Dwell where I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to you a covering of the eyes unto all that are with you, and with all other. Thus she was reproved. Genesis 9, no, Genesis 20:16, the covering of Sarah. And Abraham prayed unto Elohim, and Elohim healed Abimelech and his woman, and his maidservant, and they bore children. For Yahuwah had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech, Sarah, Abraham's woman. And Yahuwah visited Sarah as he had said, and Yahuwah did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age at the set time of which Elohim had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bore to him. And Abraham circumcised his son Ishak, being 8 days old, as Elohim had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Ishak was born unto him. And Sarah said, Elohim has made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. And she said, Who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah would have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age. And the child grew and was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast the same day that Ishak was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Mitzrayim, which was born unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Ishak. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And Elohim said unto Abraham, Let it not be grievous in your sight because of the lad, and because of your bondwoman. And all that Sarah has said unto you, hearken unto her voice, for in Ishak shall your seed be called. And also of the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is your seed. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread, a pot of water, and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. She departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water was spent in the bottle. She cast the child under one of the shrubs, and she went and sat down over against him a good way off, as if it were a bow shot. For she said, Let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept. And Elohim heard of the voice of the lad, and of the angel of Elohim called to Hagar out of the heavens, and said unto her, What ails you, Hagar? Fear not, for Elohim has heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in your hand, for I will make him a great nation. And Elohim opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled the bottle with water, and gave the lad drink. And Elohim was with the lad, and he grew, and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a woman out of the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt. And it came to pass at that time that Abimelech and Hichol, the chief captain of his host, spoke unto Abraham, saying, Elohim is with you in all that you do. Now therefore swear unto me here by Elohim that you will not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto you, you shall do unto me, and to the land wherein you have sojourned. And Abram said, I will swear. And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of the well of water, which Abimelech's servant had violently taken away. And Abimelech said, I know not who has done this thing, neither did you tell me, neither yet I heard it, but today. And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them unto Abimelech, and both of them cut a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What mean these 7 ewe lambs which you have sent by themselves? And he said, For these 7 ewe lambs shall you take of my hand that they may be a witness unto me that I have dug this well. Wherefore he called the place Beersheba, because there they both swore of them. Thus they cut a covenant at Beersheba. Then Abimelech rose up, and Pichol, the chief captain of his host, and they returned into the land of Pelishtim, and must be Philistine. And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba, and called there on the name of Yahuwah el Olam. And Abraham sojourned in the Philistines' land many days. 16, 21, and 16 bow shot, and Ishmael became an archer. Okay. And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba and called there on the name of Yahuwah el Olam. Oh, I read it twice. And it came to pass after these things that Elohim did try Abraham and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now your son, your Yashid, and Yishak, whom you love, and get you into the land of Moriah. And that means beloved son. Probably did not pronounce it right. And offer him there as an ascending smoke offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell you of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass, and took 2 of the young men with him, and Yishak his son, and clave the wood for the ascending smoke offering, and rose up and went unto the place of which Elohim had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the ascending smoke offering, and laid it upon Yishak his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Yishak spoke unto Abraham his son, and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for ascending smoke offering? And Abraham said, My son, Elohim will provide himself a lamb for an ascending smoke offering. So they both went, both of them together. And they came to the place which Elohim had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Yishak his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of Yahuwah called unto Abraham, and he said, Here I am. And he said, Lay not your hand upon the lad, neither do you anything unto him. For now I know that you fear Elohim, seeing you have not withheld your son, your Yashid, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him up for an ascending smoke offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Yahuwah Yireh, as it is said to this day, In the mount of Yahuwah it shall be seen. And the angel of Yahuwah called unto Abram out of the heavens the 2nd time, and said, By myself have I sworn, says Yahuwah, for because you have done this thing, and have not withheld your son, your Yashid, that in blessing I will bless you, and in multiplying I will multiply your seed as the stars of the heavens, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and your seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in your seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Children unto your brother Nashor, whose his firstborn, and Buz his son, and Cumiel the father of Aram, and Kesed, Yidlaf, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begot Rivkah. These eight Milcah did bear to Nashor, Aram's brother, and his concubine, whose name was Reumah. She bore also Teva, Gaham, Tahash, and Maacah. And 23. And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kiryat Arba. The same is Chevron in the land of Canaan. Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abraham stood up from before his dead and spoke unto the sons of Sheth, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burial place with you, that I may bury my dead out of sight. And the children of Sheth answered Abraham, saying unto him, You are a mighty prince among us. In the choice of your sepulchres bury your dead. None of us shall withhold from you his sepulchre, but that you may bury your dead. And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Sheth. And he communed with them, saying, If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and entreat for me to Ephraim, the son of Toshair, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he has, which is the end of his field, for as much money as it is worth. He shall give it to me for possession of a burying place among you. And Ephraim dwelt among the children of Sheth, and Ephraim the Shittai answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Sheth, even of all that went in at the gate of his city, saying, Nay, my Adonai, hear me. The field I give you, and the cave that is therein, I give it you. In the presence of the sons of my people, I give it you. Bury your dead. And Abraham bowed down himself before the people of the land. And he spoke unto Ephron in the audience of the people of the land, saying, But if you will give it, I pray you, hear me. I will give you money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying unto him, Adonai, hearken unto me. The land is worth. What is that betwixt me and you? Bury therefore your dead. Children of Sheth, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant. And the field of Ephron, which is in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field, and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the borders round about, were made sure unto Abraham for possession in the presence of the children of Seth, before all that went in the gate of the city. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, his woman, Machpelah, before Mamre. The same is Chevron in the land of Canaan, and the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for possession of a burying place by the sons of Sheth. And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and Yahuwah had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had, Put, I pray you, your hand under my thigh, and I will make you swear by Yahuwah, the Elohai of heaven, the Elohai of earth, that you shall not take a woman unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanim, among whom I dwell, but you shall go unto my country, unto my kindred, and take a woman unto my Yishak. And the servant said unto him, Perchance the woman will not be willing to follow me unto this land. Must I need bring your son again unto the land from whence you came? And Abraham said unto him, Beware that you bring not my son thither again. Yahuwah Elohai of heaven, which took me from my father's house, and from the land of my kindred, and which spoke unto me, and that swore unto me, saying, Unto your seed will I give this land. He shall send his angel before you, and you shall take a woman unto my son from thence. And if the woman will not be willing to follow you, then you shall be clear from this my oath. Only bring not my son thither again. And the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham, his Adonai, and swore to him concerning that matter. And the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his Adonai, and departed, for all the words of the Adonai were in his hand. And he arose and went to Aram Naharaim, unto the city of Nachor. And he made his camels to kneel down without the city by a well of water at the time of evening, even at the time that women go out to draw water. And he said, O Yahuwah Elohai Adonai of Abraham, I pray you, send me good speed this day, and show kindness unto my Adonai Abraham. Behold, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw water. And let it come to pass that the damsel to whom I shall say, let down your pitcher, I pray you, that I may drink. And she shall say, drink, and I will give your camels drink also. Let the same be she that you have appointed for my servant Yashak. And thereby shall I know that you have shewed kindness unto my Adonai. And it came to pass, before he had done speaking, that behold, Rivkah, Rebekah, came out, who was born to Bethuel, son of Milcah, the woman of Nashar, Abram's brother, with her pitcher upon her shoulder. And the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin, neither had any man known her. And she went down to the well, and filled her pitcher, and came up. And the servant ran to meet her, and said, let me, I pray you, drink a little water of your pitcher. And she said, drink, Adonai. As she hasted, and let down her pitcher upon her hand, and gave him drink. And when he had done giving him drink, she said, I will draw water for your camels also, until they have done drinking. And she hasted and emptied her pitcher into the trough, and ran again into the well to draw water, and drew for all his camels. And the man, wondering at her, held his peace to whether Yahuwah had made his journey prosperous or not. And it came to pass, as the camels had done drinking, that the men took a gold earring of a half shekel weight, and 2 gold bracelets of her hands of 10 shekels weight of gold, and said, whose daughter are you? Tell me, I pray you, is there room in your father's house for us to lodge in? She said unto him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, which she bore unto Nashor. And she said moreover unto him, we have both straw and provender enough, and room to lodge in. And the man bowed down his head and worshipped Yahuwah. And he said, blessed be Yahuwah Elohai and Adonai of Abraham, who has not left destitute my Adonai of his mercy and his truth. I being in the way, Yahuwah led me to the house of my Adonai's brethren. And the damsel ran and told them of her mother's house these things. And Rizpah had a brother, and his name was Laban. And Laban ran out unto the man unto the well. And it came to pass, when he saw the earring and the bracelets upon his sister's hand, and when he heard the words of Rizpah his sister, saying, thus spoke the man unto me, that he came unto the man, and behold, he stood by the camels at the well. And he said, come in, you blessed of Yahuwah, wherefore stand you without? For I prepared the house and room for the camels. And the man came in unto the house, and he ungirded his camels, and gave straw and provender for the camels, and water to wash its feet, and the men's feet that were with him. And there was set meat before him to eat. And he said, I will not eat until I have told my errand. And he said, speak on. And he said, I am Abraham's servant, and Yahuwah has blessed my Adonai greatly, and he has become great. And he has given him flocks and herds, and silver and gold, and men servants and maidservants, and camels and asses. And Sarah, my Adonai's woman, bore a son to my Adonai when she was old, and unto him he has given all that he has. And my Adonai made me swear, saying, you shall not take a woman to my son of the daughters of the Canaanim, in whose land I dwell, but you shall go into my father's house, into my kindred, and take a woman unto my son. And I said unto my El Adonai, perchance the woman will not follow me. And he said unto me, Yahuwah, before whom I walk, will send his angel with you, and prosper your way, and you shall take a woman for my son of my kindred and of my father's house. Then shall you be clear from this my oath, when you come to my kindred, and if they give not you one, you shall be clear from my oath. And I came this day unto the well, and said, O Yahuwah Elohai Adonai of Abraham, if you now do prosper my way which I go, behold, I stand by the well of water. And it shall come to pass that when the virgin comes forth to draw water, and I say to her, give me, I pray you, a little water of your pitcher to drink, and I will also draw for your camels. Let the same be the woman whom Yahuwah has appointed out for my Adonai's son. And before I had done speaking in my heart, behold, Rizkah came forth with her pitcher on her shoulder, and she went down unto the well and drew water. And I said unto her, Let me drink, I pray you. She made haste and let down her pitcher from my shoulder, and let down her pitcher from her shoulder, and said, Drink, and I will give you camels drink also. So I drank, and she made the camels drink also. And I asked her and said, Whose daughter are you? And she said, The daughter of Bethuel, Nashor's son, who Milcah bore unto him. And I put the earrings upon her face, and the bracelets upon her hands, and I bowed down my head and worshipped Yahuwah, and blessed Yahuwah Elohai Adonai of Abraham, which has led me in the right way to take my Adonai's brother's daughter unto his son. And now, if you will deal kindly and truly with my Adonai, tell me, and if not, tell me, that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, The thing proceeds from Yahuwah. Behold, Rizkah is before you. Take her and go. Let her be your Adonai's son's woman, as Yahuwah has spoken. And it came to pass that when Abraham's servant heard their words, he worshipped Yahuwah, bowing himself to the earth. And the servant brought forth jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, and gave them to Rizkah. And he gave also to her brother and to her mother precious things. And they did eat and drink, he and the men that were with him, and tarried all night. And they rose up in the morning, and he said, Send me away unto my Adonai. And her brother and her mother said, Let the damsel abide with us a few days, at least 10, and after that she shall go. He said unto him, Hinder me not, seeing you who has prospered my way. Send me away that I may go to my Adonai. And they said, We will call the damsel and inquire at her mouth. And they called Rizpah and said unto her, Will you go with this man? And she said, I will go. And they sent away Rizpah, their daughter, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant, and his men. And they blessed Rizkah, and said unto her, You are our sister, be the mother of thousands of millions, and let your seed possess the gate of those which hate them. And Rizkah arose, and her damsels, and they rode upon the camels, and followed the man. And the servant took Rizpah, and went his way. And Yishak came from the well Beer Lachi Royar, and he dwelt in the country of the Negev. And Yishak went out to meditate in the fields in the evening. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rizpah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Yishak, she lighted off the camel. For she had said unto the servant, What man is this that walks in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, It is my Adonai. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. And the servant told Yishak all the things that he had done. And Yishak brought her into her mother Sarah's tent, and took Rizkah, and she became his woman, and he loved her. And Yishak was comforted after his mother's death. So this is the end of my reading for today. I have to read unto Genesis 28 and 19, which is probably the end of the chapter. Let me see. So if you're just watching, it is a challenge to read the whole Bible in a month. And so today's assignment was Genesis 17 through Genesis 28 and 19. So I've read now unto 25. So I encourage you all to try to take the challenge with me if you can. Hopefully I'll try to read most of it. I'll try to devote an hour in the morning to reading it. I'll try to get on even earlier, and you can watch the replay if it's too early. But it's just to get closer and to have a really good relationship and to really get to know the Bible, because it's said that you need to read it as many times or as many years that you have in your life as many times you should have to read it to truly understand. And so that's what I'm aiming for. So I'm just going to take one more note. I've read two things about covering in this chapter. It's 24, 24, and 65. So I read quite a bit today. But we're going to start our we're going to start our Shabbat just assembly in a little bit. So if you guys are interested, do come back, and thank you for watching.